What up, what up? It's Garage Gym Homie. Today, I'm reviewing this Gaspari Nurition Plasma Jet. Is it worth it? Before I get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out every day for you now. So click subscribe and let's get into this. So this is the second product that I reviewed from Gaspari Nurition. This is their nitric oxide maximizer. The first one was that super pump aggression, which I gave an unbelievably positive review to. I mean, that boy hit, felt good, almost felt laced, man. It was so dang good. Didn't line up with the label. Didn't line up. It was so good. The label didn't even make sense. So listen here, man. I got mixed feelings about this one. I'm going to tell you why here. So this tells you to take 4 capsules 30 minutes before you work out. So this is essentially a pump formula in some pills here. So they're giving us this they're talking feelings here on the label, man. They're giving us 22 servings per container, but all 3 things here, they're giving us these 3 blends, and they're not telling us the amount of anything. So they're giving us glycer pump, agmatine sulfate, potassium amino acid chelate, insodyl hexacotane, mento pump, I don't know what a lot of this is, and choline bitartrate. So it's 2,500 milligrams of that. So that alone has to be kind of underdosed, because glycer pump alone I could do 2,500 milligrams of, and then there's like 4 other things in here, so I don't know. Then they're giving us this Gaspari hypertrophic vaso expansion matrix. I love the names of these blends these companies come up with. Natural xanthan blend, green tea extract, green coffee bean extract, 50% caffeine, and theobroma cacao seed extract, 20% theobromine, hypoxanthine riboside beetroot extract, and adenosine 5 triphosphate disodium salt, 466 milligrams. So that's you got more, some caffeine, some beetroot, some theobromine, yada yada. Then you got this Gaspari proprietary arginase inhibitor matrix, boron amino acid chelate, niacin, and hydroxynor-L-arginine, 125 milligrams. So these are, it seems to me, I would guess that everything in here is pretty underdosed. I mean, we gotta call it, we gotta keep it real, man, because I'm not here, Mr. Gaspari, sir, if you're listening, Garage Gym Homie ain't here to shine your freaking schlong today, Gaspari. So back the heck off. All right, so this is what I'm going to say about this, man. So there's a few reasons I have mixed feelings about this. Everything in life has positives and negatives, man. Garage Gym Homie's trying to put you up on game. Number 1, let's talk about the negatives, and then we'll talk about the positives. Because I like to get the negatives out of the way, so then we can keep things positive, you know? It's important. Perspective, homies, perspective. It's a short, quick review. Number 1, it's got caffeine. It doesn't say how, number 1, it's a proprietary blend. No excuse for that. There's no excuse. I'm telling you, these companies, listen up, Mr. Gaspari. No one cares to copy your formula. It's a lame excuse. That's the only excuse you can give me for a proprietary blend. Anything else is nonsense. And no one cares. The consumer gets screwed on a prop blend. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to say this. The other negative thing to me about this is it's got caffeine. It's got caffeine. So there's 2 reasons I don't like that it has caffeine. Number 1, if I'm mixing this with a pre-workout, the pre-workout already has caffeine. I don't want added caffeine from this. And number 2, if I'm using this on a non-stim pre-workout, I want it to be non-stim. If I'm using this on a non-stim training session, I don't want a little bit of caffeine. I either want a full dose of whatever the pre-workout's supposed to have, or I want none. Keep my tolerance down. I'm going non-stim. I want it to stay non-stim. So I looked at their website. It says it's got at the most 50 milligrams of caffeine. I don't want just some random 50 milligrams of caffeine throughout my day. After I've already done my fat burning in the morning and I vow, I do my morning fasted cardio and I say, this is it. I get 1 serving of caffeine per day, first thing in the morning, geared toward my cardio. That's it. I don't give myself a second helping, man. That way I keep my tolerance down. The next hit of caffeine I get is the next day. I don't want 50 random milligrams of caffeine for my training later. I just don't want it. I either want a full dose when I'm allowing myself to have caffeine or none. So that's my personal regimen, man. I'm very strict with my stimulant intake. So that's the other negative thing. The other thing that I have mixed feelings about this is like, this would be fine if you don't care about the caffeine stuff. This would be fine added, I guess, to a pump formula if you want some extra pumps. But then you're taking the pump formula and powder plus this. It's just kind of extras to me. Man, I guess there's more negatives than than positives now that I'm coming up with it. I'm not a big fan of this product, man. I just don't see much of a use for it for me. It's super underdosed. I don't need 50 random milligrams of caffeine, and I don't really see that I would use this as a standalone pump formula. And if my pump formula that I'm using really needs this added onto it, it's probably not that great of a pump formula that I'm using. Having said all that negative stuff, I will say that this actually does give some noticeable pumps outside of not using it at all. I did see a difference. It did give me some vascularity that seemed like it wouldn't have come from within, I guess you would say. I mean, the pumps come from the heart anyway. I'm going to activate them, to the maximum. But I'm in tune enough with my training and myself at this point where I could tell if a pump formula is activated and if it's doing something extra. And this did have an effect on my pumps that were noticeable. So with all that negativity I just spewed at you, man, I'm going to tell you it did feel like an effective pump formula, meaning my skin felt a little tighter around the muscle than normal. It only took like a few sets coming in to really get some good pumps going. I felt that it activated quickly. I used it by itself, and I used it with I used it completely by itself as a non-stim pre-workout. It was the only thing I used. And I sucked it up and did the 50 milligrams of caffeine, and I used it with another pump formula. And both times I was like, man, I said I wasn't going to use more caffeine than I did this morning. I don't like using this because I don't want just an extra half cup of coffee or whatever worth of caffeine just randomly in the day, man. I practice restriction and I'm very strict about my stimulant intake. I don't like, this isn't something I would personally use. I didn't think it was worth it. And there's no room for, this is all extras to me, man. So I'm just giving it to you straight. I do appreciate them sending it over 100%. But for my training regimen, for me keeping it minimal, I want one pump formula that's gonna give me enough pump. I don't need a pump formula and then add these pills on top. I just want one thing and that's it, man. End of freaking story, man. Garage Gym Homies, always going to give it to you straight till the end of days. If you like the review, subscribe to this channel if you didn't freaking like the review. Get off freaking Gaspari schlong, homies. So together, let's get this dang muscle. Woo, GGH looking nasty, boy. I'm out.